Alright, so we're back. I'm going to fight with this glove first. So, I'm going to show you how I unmold these. It's not the easiest, and I'm sure it's not the prettiest. But you know what? It gets it out the slab. So, I typically rock it. A lot of wiggling and pulling and like that. Of course, because I'm a sloppy soaper, I make a mess all over the crate. I usually wash them off later and scrape them, and it's good to go. So, take them out of the mold. You kind of pull back on the sides. Now, my recipe has a high level of coconut oil. It's like almost half the recipe. So, mine breaks away quite easily. I like to make a hard bar, as they call it. I like it really hard. But after, it makes a pretty awesome soap after it cures. So, pull back, kind of fight with it. Like I said, it ain't the pretty part, that's for sure. And that's maybe why I don't make fancy little swirly tops, because I always drop it on it. So, pop it all out like that. And clean it up. So you could see the swirls in it from the blops of last night. I have the other two still to unmold. So I'm going to show you my cutter. It's quite heavy actually. My husband made it. It's made of stainless steel and it has a bottom. And he cut the plates and welded it all together, all stainless steel, because he is that kind of welder man. So, one like this fits in here. We put it on its side, and usually we have our knife on hand, so I need to go get that, and then we'll cut it. Now, here's the difficult part, because we're going to use a crinkle to cut it, to give it that beach wave, because that's the whole theme of this soap. We're going to cut off a little bit off the edge, and then continue. I do have other cutters, but what I'm starting to notice is that it's doing like a bevel when I'm pushing. Even though I'm going straight down, these are exact measured. There's no, they're not offset of each other, anything, the cuts in the metal, but it's kind of like beveling out in the soap when I'm cutting, and nobody wants a hump in their soap. I mean, some people say, well, it makes it look better because I know you hand cut it that way. It's not machine cut. It wasn't bought out of a factory and then wrapped at home and then hand labeled, handmade. Because of the unique look about it. I mean, what factory would have that many issues in their cuts? But the problem is that I'm finding it more difficult to wrap. I'm selling them all the same price, even though we're going from a 5-ounce to a 9-ounce, because no one wants to pay that difference in price either. So, yeah, it just causes a little more trouble for us. So I like to cut off a little bit of the end, try to make it as even as possible. It's not always perfect, people. So that's what the inside looks like from the drop of the thick batter that we did. And let me just say this, oh my God, it smells amazing. Really, really amazing. So with the crinkle, the only trick is to get it aligned pretty much, because if it's not aligned at the bottom, it won't actually be able to go through. So kind of just hold it the best I can and pop it on through like that. And I wish we had 2 or 3 of these, because if we did, I could pop one right here and then cut the rest, and it would be more on point without it pushing around. But I ain't got that luxury. I have what I have, and that's just what it is. So, I had a really awesome knife for this. But one time the son was cutting, and he cut and, well, straight up busted the knife. So, yeah. But this is what's working right now, and that's what we're going with. By the way, my cuts are 1 inch. But being this is a harder bar, it's going to dry, and it probably will not shrink very much. It kind of looks like a music note. What is it? A treble clef, I think it's called. So, but these do smell divine. Very beach, shores. I don't know how to explain it. I just know it smells really nice. So if you ever smelled our green tea and our Ruffian, that's what this blend is. And you know they smell really good. So, yeah, they came out so pretty. I'm not a fan, as much as I do like the fancy soaps. I just don't make them. It's just, I don't know if it's just, we're going to call it just not my thing. I'm sure maybe one day I will. But maybe that's just not my style. Who knows? And on top, I had dusted it with a little bit of mica. And it did do a ash on top. But it kind of reminds me of when the sea foam washes up on the beach. So, I like it. I like it a lot, me. So this is the trouble I'm having with this cutter. So if you see on this side, it's nice, a good thickness to it. And on this side, super thin. I believe it's my cutter that does that. It's sliding around. It's not holding the bar totally steady. And until I could afford a bud cutter or anyone else that has one of those fancy cutters, I think I'm going to be stuck with my wobbly bars, and that's just the way that is. It doesn't hurt or affect even the nature of the soap. Like this one, look, now we got a super fat end and a little skinny one. And people are sending me text messages while I'm trying to work. It doesn't affect the bar in any shape, way, or form. But it's like a ramp right here, like a skate ramp. You are obviously getting a chunkier bar, probably I would say almost an ounce more than the regular bars are. So that's my only problem with it that I don't like. It's not totally fair cuts. And due to that, I might have trouble getting them in their little boxes. And that's not really cool with me because this is all to go in specialty boxes. So, got some good little swirl pattern in them. Very, like the water pushing on the shore. I like it, me. I can watch someone cut soap all day, but I have to admit, it ain't my cup of tea. Maybe because I have to fight with it more. Maybe because it ain't as easy for me. I don't know. I just rather do something else. Heck, I'd rather wash the dishes. Ugh. So we have a few cracks, a few holes. Look like some little tooloo holes. But I think this thing went through a gel phase quite quickly sometime this morning. Because I don't see no gelling going on. And I'm not seeing any discoloration, which I shouldn't anyways. My oils were not that kind of oil to cause that. But so pretty. So smelling good. So much loving. It's a little brittle, but it'll be all right. Now it's making me wonder if I should change the positioning of where I was going to put the seashell. Technically the sand dollar. Huh. If I had the time, I would ask for a pole. That would have been a smart. But I like to put it on before the finished curing process. Here we go, another big chunky. I'm guessing this is probably going to weigh in about, say 4.5 to 5 ounces. I mean, this is some soap, people. You could even cut it in half and make you 2 separate soaps because it got some weight to it. So that's what that is. Excuse me. Allergies. I don't know if I'm going to put that sand dollar on the top corner and glue it there, or I'm going to put it on the side like I had initially wanted to, within the waves. That would be very cool. I believe that would be adorable. Guess you could say that's my fancy of soap. Now this one looks like a hurricane's on the rise, or high waves. I bet you there's some waves at the beach today with that wind. Oh gosh. So that's the sand that had settled. And, well, it was kind of like floating in there, actually. It did a nice swirling on the side. That's this side. So, I think it turned out quite well. I'm pleased. And, oh, it's going to make a nice hard bar. And because, more so this happens not only because I'm using 60 ounces of coconut oil, but also... I do my water discount at a 2-to-1 ratio. Most people do it at a 3-to-1. The problem with that is we have a lot of humidity in our area. And I find when we do a 3-to-1, that is your water to lye, I find what happens is, another text message. What I find the problem with that is it causes the soap to be a little more stickier. Oh, look, this one is still going through its gel phase. You could see that. How cute. But it makes it that it's a stickier bar to unmold, and it's not so easy like this was. It also makes it really soft, and the gel phase is taking longer. And it's like I would need to leave the mold in the loaf for 2 days instead of 12 hours. And, like, I don't have that time. I need my molds clean for my next project. I'm a busy woman. I ain't got all day to be spinning in here playing with soap and trying to get it right. So, I don't want it to be sitting in my mold longer than a day. 2 days is my max, especially when I'm doing 100% pure olive oil. For our baby soaps. 3 days is what I forgot that I had it in here, so it was 3 days. So that's the inside of this one, which is going to be just slightly different, but not hugely drastic. But they all smell the same. It was the same huge big batter mix. So that's a good part. It's not like I made 3 separate batters, which could lead to 3 total separate smells. Oh, this one made a sand pocket. Look at that. How cute. I bet you that give a nice little scrub. I like that, me. And I'm running out of room on my my towel here. We'll start stacking here. These, I'm noticing, have more of the green showing than the blue, which is pretty cute. And I go and say that, and this one has more blue than green. But look how adorable. So adorable. And the sand is really in there doing its sandy thing. Some people like to steam their soaps. I believe that's an extra step I cannot make money off of, so I'm sure it's just to make it really pretty. And I'm sure that doesn't take away or, you know, not make their soaps awesome. I personally don't do that. That's extra part of my time. I'm not going to make up for making the soap. And my point is you getting awesome soap. We say it time and time again, we don't make the prettiest soaps, but we make very good soap for you and your body. And to us, that matters more than how pretty it is. If you ever seen our rebatch soaps, it's proof to us making ugly soap. So this last one's giving me some trouble of getting it straight. It wanted to bow out like I was saying it does. It could be because it's just the end and you can't trim much of an end more than I did. But once again, this will be, I'm sure, weighing a lot more than the other bars. So out of that batch, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And the ends, which will either go to samples to the owners, or if they're too slender, like these weird little pieces, what I do with those is I actually put them in my trash, my recycle trash. Even these little shavings will go into my recycle. And when we are getting ready to rebatch soaps, I will take them and I will actually add them to what mix they smell best with. And that is how we figure out who gets rebatched with who. Rebatch soaps are limited editions. We never had the same rebatches done twice. Even when we tried to put soaps together that might smell the same. When we rebatch, we don't add more smell to it. Your distilled fragrant oil or essential oil is not added to it. It is what it is, pretty much. I find the smell is very strong to begin with, so it's not needed to add more to it. The only thing we do add is either goat's milk or coconut milk, and that's it. And of course we heat it all down and mix it up and make it look like pig slop, and pray to God it looks good after we unmold it the second time. So all our rebatch soaps are always $5, no matter what soaps were used in it. Sometimes they could be beautiful, and majority of the time they're straight up ugly. And recently, I say recently, last 3 months, if you bought a rebatch soap from us, you know when it looks like meat and a bone, but it smells amazing. Yeah, that probably came from us. So this one is the one that I had done the sand directly on top, which is held on nicely. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of blue that got trapped right there. Of course, when I'm cleaning it off and everything else, you won't see that, and it won't stain the skin at all. So it's still going through a gel phase right here, which isn't very bad. That's a good thing. It's a needed thing. So it smells so lovely. Oh, excuse me. So I'm going to finish cutting these up, and I'm going to bring you back when I decide how we're going to put on those sand dollars. Because I have no clue how we're going to do that. I'm going to do that. The only one in the studio today. So, I'm totally uncertain of this. But we'll figure it out because that's what we do. And I will bring you back for that. Oh, this one has so much more green in it than blue. What a pretty, pretty bird. So, I will get back to you shortly after these are cut.